what's the point of pairing up?
All right, you have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to answer these questions.
You said you
Oh,
could
and
use
then we're
your
gonna
voice?
pair up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You said you could use your voice.
Yeah.
You gave us a specific sentence from the reading.
Shh, don't.
Answer the questions. I'll be collecting these.
So we can't work
Gotta
with
finish it first.
Not yet. Just
Mr. Scribble, what was it you were saying earlier about like Hitler was your hero and stuff?
Just answer the questions.
So we're supposed to find a specific sentence without the book?
I said you can have your book.
But before you said you couldn't have your book.
What are factions?
That was simply to get you to read.
Oh, so you're a liar.
Question.
This is not it's not like a one-word thing, right?
No.
It's the rest of a sentence.
What's a faction?
Small group.
It's too what? What? Ooh. What line?
Yes.
Or because it is finishing a job. He's finishing a job.
So just finish the sentence.
Against gradual powers.
He's finishing a job?
With Adam.
That's tight. Is this right?
Right?
No?
Devani?
Jose, cover up
What?
pencil, please. Okay.
How do you say like contain the power? Because it says like, how does it say the great superiority against gradual concentration of several powers in the same department? Great superiority against gradual concentration. So power.
Mr. Scribner, I don't care if there are any construction noises. I'm like in a microwave right now. Can you open that window, please?
Wait, is the answer have to fit in this little line? Oh. I was like, there's a one word to it.
Just for like
Is
3
that one
minutes,
big group?
you're each discussing your answers to the 4 questions, okay, on your quiz. these 4 questions on the board, right?
I don't remember the discussion.
Sorry, you got me
Right.
fired.
I don't remember what I put though, so.
The number 2, I know I put checks and balances.
Yeah, that's all
I
I
found
remember.
it. Did you find the first one?
Oh, legislative, right? I said because they have more,
That's what it is.
offensive.
Oh, it's
They have more
That's a
things
offensive quote
against
from the.
power encroachment.
Yeah, that's what I said, they have more checks on
line.
Yeah.
And then,
So it should be
right here,
right
the great security that's
Little dependent on
Hold on, I'm trying to remember.
18. What am I doing?
Alright, so.
Each department knows it. Yeah.
Do you want one, Mr.
I
Stewart?
wrote,
Today, you should be discussing
I wrote
this.
these 2.
We
whatever
are
the first part is.
not.
I looked for, I did not. I found it.
The hard one, you didn't get, like the last one.
That's what I found out. Was
I actually did. It's what I wrote was giving them
number 2. I got
like. Can I get my papers? I said something about giving them personal reasons, giving people like the personal reasons on why they're not.
I don't know.
Let the legislative encroach on powers.
I don't know what he thinks.
Something like that.
I'm not sure that's got him. Legislative.
All right,
But I
so
don't know why.
I'm giving back your papers, and we're gonna talk about the answers.
I said give the people more power.
And leave it. Okay, so number 1, does anybody want to answer? Madison says the greatest security against the gradual concentration of several powers in the same department is to what?
Encourage personal means to resist encroachments.
Okay, personal means, what else?
Necessary constitutional means.
So constitutional means and personal motives, all right? So it's basically using human nature, all right, to resist the encroachment of power from one area, all right, of the government on another, okay? What do we call this?
Checks and balances.
Checks and balances, okay? Does somebody have an example of checks and balance, of a check and balance in the federal government?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, but like specifically one branch's power over another branch.
When Congress makes a law, the president can veto it.
The president can veto it, right? Very good. Thirdly, what does Madison say is the strongest branch?
Legislative.
What is evidence in the book that says this?
I don't know what. I don't know. It doesn't say why, but it says yeah. Legislative authority
necessarily predominates. The remedy for the inconveniency is to divide the legislature into different branches.
Okay. So what is the legislature? The Congress, right? Which is what two parts?
Huh?
The Congress is separated into what 2 parts? And okay. So when something has too much power, based on the principle of checks and balances, what do? You divide the power into 2 branches. So an evidence that the legislative branch is the strongest is the fact that it is separated into 2 branches to check and balance that power. Okay? He says the president or the executive branch is the weakest, so that one needs to be built up. All right, the last one, it looked like a lot of you guys struggled with this one a little. What is the best way to counteract the effects of factions?
Give more power to the people.
Okay.
Give people personal motives to stop the encroachment of powers.
Okay.
Expose the unjust authority and the rightful interests of the minority.
All right, so listen up. Tammy's saying something. All of yours are good, but you have to understand, when if the majority is one group, right, and they want to do something that hurts the minority in a republic, right, that's bad. So how can you prevent a majority from encroaching on a small minority? By breaking up that majority and have more factions. So instead of just 2 groups, if you had like 10 groups, now you're not going to have one group taking away the power from the other. Now, we see this in our country. Primarily, we have, let's say, Democrat and Republican. And because there's only 2 groups, what happens? One group specifically makes laws that go directly against what the other group wants. whenever they're in power. If the Republicans are in power, they're making laws against what the Democrats want. If the Democrats are in power, they're making laws against what the Republicans want. The solution is to have many different factions, break up the power into smaller groups, so therefore everybody has a smaller, if you will, equal group. Okay? Now, if you didn't have that answer, you should write that answer. The answer to this is on page 290, right? Lines
Is it right?
1 through 7. Different interests necessarily exist in different classes of citizens. If a majority be united by a common interest, the rights of the minority will be insecure. There are but two methods of providing against this evil. The one by creating a will in the community independent of the majority, that is of the society itself. The other by comprehending in the society so many separate descriptions of citizens as will render the unjust combination of a majority of the whole very improbable, if not impracticable. Which is
So give me a super simplified version of what you just said.
a super simplified version, okay? Super simplified, saying that society, right? Creating the will in the community independent of the majority. Saying that the will of the community, right, would be stronger than the majority, okay? But in America, we could say that that's not very likely. So he says the second way that you can make this happen is that by comprehending in the society so many separate descriptions of citizens, meaning more factions.
Having more factions.
More factions breaks up the power or breaks up the concentration of power. Does that make sense? More interests, different interests, so that everybody's not united one interest against another. Okay?